Okay, so let's spend a few minutes now talking about a course that is very popular at the moment, as you can imagine, the Presidency course. So where do you find this course? Well, it's pretty straightforward. It's found in the Department of Political Science, and it's pretty much always called Presidency. How is the course typically taught? Well, there are really two main approaches that instructors will take when they are teaching this course and selecting a book. They'll either take a topical approach, which is where our book by Pica would fit in, or they'll take a historical approach. And if you take a look at these two tables of contents side by side, you can very clearly see the difference between the two. So you've got the topical approach on the left here with Pica, and on the right, the historical approach with Milkus Nelson. And if you look at the historical table of contents, you can see that they go through all the presidents on a timeline. You've got Adams, Jefferson, Jackson, Lincoln, etc. So your front list book that you've got this fall that you're going to be spending a lot of time calling on is the Pica book, The Politics of the Presidency. So why do people love this book so much? Well, first of all, these authors are really just top presidency scholars in the field. They're very well respected. And what people who like this book are really going to be looking for when they get the new edition in their hands is the coverage of the election, the 2016 election, and the first 100 days of the presidency. This book always provides a very thorough analysis of the first 100 days, and it's something that instructors are really going to be eager to take a look at. So let's talk about what's new in this edition. What's new? Well, I'll give you a hint. Take a look at the cover. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of coverage of the first 100 days of the Trump presidency. And actually, there's a new chapter dedicated to the Trump transition and the first 100 days that examines important topics such as the immigration ban and other executive orders, efforts at deregulation, the targeted military strikes in Syria, and the war on the intelligence community, and the deconstruction of the administrative state. In addition, an assessment of the public presidency reviews Trump's approval ratings, communication strategies, and media coverage. And discussions of Trump's leadership challenges in a polarized age explain the difficulties of unifying a nation after a bitter election, launching an administration, and structuring the executive branch. So really just a lot in here about the Trump presidency. And again, this is the coverage that people are really going to be eager to take a look at when they get the new edition of the book. So when you get out there and start selling in the presidency course, you're going to see that there's actually a ton of competition out there. There are a lot of books for this course. Pretty much all the major publishers who publish in the political science discipline have at least one presidency book. Here's something to keep in mind. As of this moment, other than the Morris book from OUP, which is the one at the top there, none of the competing websites have announced their revisions of these competing titles. So think about it. This is a course where, especially in 2017, currency is so important. A good strategy this fall would be to be the first rep in the offices of these instructors with a book that has Donald Trump on the cover. No one who teaches presidency wants to be teaching with a book that's 4 years old. Definitely not cool. So get out there and call on these people early. Okay, so we've talked about the new edition of Pica for Presidency. And just before this, you learned a little bit about the new edition of Davidson for the Congress course. Well, one thing that these two courses have in common is that oftentimes instructors will actually teach both. And we have a ton of books for both courses. The other thing to keep in mind is that these instructors will often use multiple books for these courses. They'll bundle books together. So it's not uncommon to find yourself in a call talking about both Congress and presidency with the same instructor. And in those situations, if you're not trying to bundle more than one book together for each of those courses, then you are leaving money on the table. So we've created a Congress and presidency supplements grid to help guide these calls. Everything that you need to bundle and walk away with multiple adoptions for these courses is in the grid. So now that the video portion of this is over, once you stop this video, please take a few moments to download the grid, right there in Blackboard, and familiarize yourself with the tool. There's a follow-up activity that's going to allow you to practice your skills and use this handy tool to match all of our Congress and Presidency textbooks and supplements with things that you might hear an instructor say in one of these calls. Thanks and good luck.